at you with tip number 21 of the 24 tips for 2024. And this one is when creating a new website, redesigning a website, have a multi stage plan, and then have a backup plan. I've recently been working on some websites for some clients, and I can say when you don't have a streamlined plan, you end up in a position where number one, it takes longer. And I'm just going to put this out here right now. It always takes a long time to develop a website, longer than you think it will. If you think you can get it done in 6 weeks, that's probably not happening. It's probably going to be closer to 12. And I say this as a word of caution because I think a lot of the times we think, oh, it's easy, we just build it. But there's a lot that goes into a new website, even if you're still using the same content. But when you create that multi stage plan, you have that backup plan, which can be your alternate timeline. The other thing when you're developing your website is to prioritize consistency, whether that means that you need to cut some content, you need to add some content. You want to create pages that are as simplified as possible and are not they're not going to clash with each other. And what I mean by that is whenever you have two solutions pages, they should always have the same formatting. This makes it easier to design. This makes it easier for you to generate content. And ultimately, it creates a better user experience. The other thing that you should consider is accessibility. Now, I've had a lot of discussions recently about what the site looks like versus accessibility. We want to make sure that our websites are ADA compliant. We want to make sure that our websites are tailored to individuals with all different backgrounds, all different education levels, as long as it's inside your niche market there. And we want to make sure that we're looking at things for the visually impaired. We're adding alt text so that if someone needs to be using a speech to text, they know what's there. We always want to be accounting for that because not only does it help the individual, but your search engine optimization will thank you as well. Another thing that you want to consider, and this is super important, so it may end up being a tip all on its own, is creating high quality content is so important when designing your site. You want to make sure that you're creating content with not only the keywords, but with the pain points of your customers, making sure that if you have solutions pages or industry pages, that they're tailored to that market. And this all sounds like common sense, but I think a lot of the time we get so into the idea of building out a website that we forget about these basics in marketing. It's not just about making a pretty website. It's about making a website that people want to engage with, people want to stay on, people want to read. So you need to be focusing on your content and keeping that high quality content there. And finally, I will say that your design and your content should go hand in hand. This is probably one of the biggest challenges we run into. If you have this beautiful website, but not so great content, you're not going to see the results that you want. And vice versa. If you're focusing all on your content and not on your UX, you're going to run into problems there. So you want to make sure that you're consulting with your internal teams, talking to your sales and operations about challenges that might be arising for customers, and having a feedback loop. And once the website's there, it's not done. Make sure that you continuously have that feedback loop available because that's what's going to increase your UX. It's going to help you detect problems. And ultimately, that's what's going to build for a better experience. At the end of the day, a website's evergreen. You're going to continuously be innovating and rewriting and changing, and that's a good thing. So, your website isn't set in stone. Make sure you have a plan for how you're going to get there and how you're going to continue after. Be patient and enjoy the ride. That's today's marketing tip.